A little while ago, we made a video about how dividend investing and stock investing can be better than property investing for expats. Now, in this video, I wanted to make, or I guess to argue the other side of the coin. And that is, here we're going to talk about why property can be a better investment for expats. Both dividend investing and property investing have their advantages. Dividend investing certainly has some strong points to it, especially if you are spending a lot of time overseas, but property definitely has its place too. So we're going to have a look at some of the reasons why property can be superior to dividends when it comes to expat investing. My name's Aaron, I'm from offshore in Asia. If you're interested in moving to doing business in or investing out in Southeast Asia, head over to offshoreinAsia.com. We've got a bunch of articles there where you can learn different aspects of how things work out here. If you want to book in a consult call, you can do that as well, or send us an email. Now, the first reason why investors may want to lean towards property rather than stock investing is that property is a tangible asset. It's something you can touch, you can feel. It's not digits on a computer screen. It hasn't been digitalized like the financial markets have. By fact that property is not a digital asset means that it is less vulnerable to online scams, to theft, or even perhaps confiscation. And tangible assets tend to be more stable in a crisis, which brings me along to my next point, in that property is less susceptible, or tends to be less susceptible to market manipulation. I'm not saying that there is no market manipulation going on in the property market. You could argue that markets, certainly in Australia, there is a bit of rigging going on, or maybe rigging is not the right word. It's just the nature of the policies that are set by government that sort of dictates how the markets play out. But just by its nature of being tangible, it means you're not going to get like these pump and dumps like you get in crypto markets or on meme stocks, for example. You're not going to get flash crashes. Someone pressed the wrong button on a keyboard and the S&P crashed by whatever percent. That's not going to happen in the property market. Price movements in property tend to move a lot slower. It takes a lot longer to sell a property. And by the fact that it takes a lot longer to sell a property and there's a lot less transactions taking place on a daily basis, it just means that price movements are a lot more smoothed out and easier to predict. And when prices are moving slower on an asset like property, it also means you're not going to get flustered. You're not going to panic and make the wrong decision if there is a quick movement in the market. It gives you time to assess things, to have a really good slow think about it before you work out if you do want to sell or hold on to a particular asset. The next reason to consider property over share investing or stock market investing is that property provides a real life purpose. Depending on whether you want to live in a property, whether you could use it to set up an office, you could use it to store things, you could do all kinds of things. You could do photo shoots in there, you could do workshops in a property. All these things you just cannot do with a stock. So it has real life purpose that a stock just cannot give, and that is a massive advantage in itself. Because you do get to use it to do things with it, it doesn't really matter as much if you're not making a yield. If a yield is not important to you, if you're getting use out of it, you can still get your use out of it and then get some capital appreciation on the back end. So it can be a bit of a double win in that respect, provided that markets do go up in line with your expectations. The next point is potentially there is more opportunity to get in and find a bargain with property, to sort of, sniff out a diamond in the rough, to move into emerging and developing countries and work out a way to, maybe you have to set up a company with a local, but work out a way to legally buy sort of landed property that you can then renovate and do whatever you have to do. Sure, you can find beaten up stocks that you can buy and sit on and wait for a recovery and make a profit that way. But in some ways, there are more opportunities to go into a country like Cambodia or Thailand or Malaysia or the Philippines, somewhere like that, a developing country where you can go in and pick up a property for 50 grand. It's not always going to be easy, but there usually is a way to do it. And as I touched on there, another benefit of property is that it gives you an opportunity to manufacture capital growth in it, to do a reno. You can go in, you can buy a fixer-upper, you can put in new carpets or rip the carpets up and polish the floorboards. You can give it a lick of paint and add $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to the value. This stuff is quite easy to do with property. You can't do this with a stock portfolio. Another reason why property can be better than the stock market is that property provides It can provide a sense of pride, a sense of home. You can use it for an offshore base, a place you want to go back to and live and spend a few months. Even if it's only for a few months, at least you have a base you can go to rather than living out of hotels all the time. You can go to your property, you know you've got your coffee machine there, your chargers there, particular wardrobe, so you don't have to carry around all your clothes with you all the time. You've got your own little private place that you can go back to, and this is something, especially if you've spent a lot of time on the road, that you're really, after a while, or myself anyway, I find that I really need a place to go back to. It doesn't have to be my home country, but I need to have a sense of home somewhere, a base that I can go back to and feel at home in. And the last reason I'll cover here, why property can be better than stock market investing for expats and international travelers, is that it provides a lifeboat, which I think can be very important, especially if you are becoming a non-resident in your country and you're leaving your country and going to live in another country, or moving around, becoming a digital nomad, a perpetual traveler, something like that. Even if you are paying more tax on this property back in your home country, it provides a lifeboat for you. It's somewhere, if you decide that you don't want to live the nomad life anymore, that you can go back and live back in your home country, that you know that you've got that there. And because you've been maybe living in a cheaper country and life has been a bit easier, so maybe you haven't been working as hard because you haven't needed to bring in so much money to live the lifestyle you wanted to live, that could backfire on you if you wanted to move back to your home country, then find out all of a sudden that you're priced out of the market. Sometimes paying the bit more tax in your home country, or wherever your property may be located as a non-resident, paying tax at non-resident rates, that can be worth it to know that you've got that property sitting there if you need it. It's an insurance policy. You're keeping your options open here, and that's what being a digital nomad, about living an international lifestyle, about going offshore, that's what it's all about, keeping your options open and keeping your freedom at a high level. Part of keeping your freedom at a high level would be having a property lifeboat somewhere, if you want to call it that, that you can sort of jump to for safety if things go bad, or if you just change your mind about the place you're living in. It's there when you need it. So that's my thoughts, guys. So my opinion is that both property and stock market investing have their purpose. Property, depending on whether you are holding it to live in, or whether it's a home that you live in only 3 months or 6 months of the year, or whether it's something that you rent out in a foreign country to earn some foreign currency, that definitely has its purpose, just as much as stock market dividend investing absolutely has its purpose as well, as I covered in the other video I did a couple of weeks ago. Some people prefer property investing over stock market investing, and vice versa, and both are legitimate. It just depends on what you prefer, what you're looking for as part of your investment mix, also what you understand. There's no point throwing money into an asset that you don't understand. Anyway, we'll wrap the video up there, guys. Let us know in the comments what you like. Are you a property investor? Are you a dividend stock market investor? Maybe even crypto, perhaps. What is your investment and why do you choose that? Share your comments down below, and hopefully we can keep the conversation going. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll catch you later.